Alright, after a 2 week break, we are back for Tier 3 action for Inters Round 11 at Japan. Scotty here with you this afternoon, unfortunately by myself at the moment. Blues unfortunately a late pull out, but we'll hopefully see him in the comms box next week. But 16 drivers on the grid, a fair few reserves, so maybe Japan not necessarily one of the drivers' favourites, but we're definitely looking forward to some action, and we still do have a championship fight on our hands. As you can see on your left-hand side of your screen, Bompton, unfortunately, not here today. So Vert 10 points behind in the championship. Good chance to get a good lot of points. Gordo's missing as well from third, so we do have Kaio, who's currently fourth in the table. So he can definitely jump up on first and third. He's only about 40 points from behind Bompton. So he can still gain some ground as we've still got about 6 rounds left to go in this Tier 3 championship. As we wait for the drivers. 8 rounds left, including today, I should say. As we'll just have a quick look to see who is first on track. That'd be Arch. So we'll see how he goes. Very tricky track. It is around Japan, and I think we've actually already lost Shadow. He's already had an issue on his outlap, so definitely very tricky around this 5.8 kilometer circuit. 18 turns. There'll be 27 laps around Suzuka. So we'll change to... Actually, Like a True Boss is the first one, so we'll follow him through on his first flyer. And he just slows down. You'll tend to find that a few of these guys running a bit more downforce than you would at a lot of truck. You need some downforce, especially in the first sectors. We'll see as he comes through the last chicane and around the final corner. One DRS zone on this track as he starts his lap at Suzuka, going around the fast turn 1-2. Want to get your line nice. You've got a little bit of traffic, but here comes the part where you need the most amount of downforce. The S section, left, right. Very easy to lose the car over these curbs as well. Hopefully the Red Bull does get out of the way. He does. Up the hill, left-hander of turn 7. He follows nearly 300 kilometers, and then the double right-hander, Degner 1, Degner 2, then coming up the hill to the hairpin of turn 11. Takes that line very nicely, trying to use all the track acceleration through the high-speed second sector. Then coming around turns 13 and 14. Got to be careful as you just see the car just didn't quite ride that curve nicely. Had a bit of a moment, so lost himself a little bit of time as he comes through turn 14, and now just as he comes to the left-hander of 130R. Takes that nicely, easily full flat out in these corners, in these cars, and then the final chicane, turns 16, 17, and then around the final corner of 18. He can actually be unsteady and lose it around the last corner. He's got to be careful, but Like a True Boss sets his first banker at a 31.5. So not a bad effort from the AlphaTauri reserve tonight. Oh, and just as we ride on board with Richo, he spins the car. Thankfully, the Mercedes did avoid him. Definitely a bit tricky to try and avoid these to avoid any cars that have spun. Quite a narrow track as well in some parts of this circuit. As we switch to, I think it might be the full-time AlphaTauri driver of Tetris coming around the last chicane. Once again, a nice exit. Gorb currently setting the pace on a 131.3. Tetris just behind him, 6/1000s behind. So Almighty Gob now the full-time Tier 3 driver. Ratbag, unfortunately, with his wheel issues. Unfortunately, he's been given his marching orders from Alfa Romeo As Tetris just goes onto the gravel to get out of the people's way. Very hard to get out of people's way in that first sector. As we try and find another driver. Woofer, he's just about to cross the line. He goes 31.8. So in the 31s at the moment, early in this session. 12.5 left to go. What about Christo? What can he do? Currently around 13 and 14. Buster, how are ya? Obviously the Haas man, Kyo and Arch. Kyo last time out's race winner at Australia round 10. So he's looking in some good form. Want to get knock out this second half of the season, get another win under his belt. But Christo coming around the final corner. DRS. Quick splash to the line, he finds himself into P3, 31.4. So gap's quite close towards the front on their opening laps. Sam reserving for the Mercedes tonight. So how does he go? Wayne, 30.6. That's a fast lap from Wayne. So Wayne reserving in the Williams, if I'm not mistaken. He is. Verk has been in his lap, so he's made a mistake early on. Natoban coming out of the pit, same as Blue Dog. We'll go on board with Kyo, see how he goes, the race winner from Australia. As he comes through the double right-hander. Got to be careful on the outside curb right here, can easily spin you across the track. Unfortunately, I've fallen to it a couple of times now. As he rounds the hairpin, he has invalidated his lap. So, still plenty of time as the car in front just gets out of the way. As we just have a look for someone else, that was Burke getting out of the way. So, in the middle of flying laps here, Arch, the other Haas. See how he goes, but a bit of a moment coming out of the right-hander, so we lost a little bit of time there, but still got all four wheels on the track. He comes around the double right-hander. I think he may have just turned off his ERS. No, he's still going. Around the hairpin now. Probably a little bit deeper than what he would have wanted, but he gets the car straightened up. And just trying to hug the white line on the right-hand side, trying to short the track as much as he can. And then around right the curve, manages just to keep it within track limits. And then the exit out of 14, using all the curve on the right-hand side to keep as much speed up as possible. As he hits 305. Seems he's running a little bit more top speed from the guys that we've seen so far. So he'll be looking for one to make moves in this race, a bit more top speed, but might struggle in the first sector, as we did see earlier on in the lap. But he crosses the line, 31.1, and he jumps himself up into P2, still half a second behind Wayne. And Wayne scoring a victory last night in Tier 4. So he's very comfortable with Japan, is Wayne. So definitely looking forward to seeing how he can match with these Tier 3 fellas. And of course the likes of Burke and the other types that are actually in this championship fight. And while we're waiting on a couple of these other boys to complete their outlaps, but Kyo, so he's obviously done a second run and he does a 30.2. So that, I said, Wayne, will he have challenges for Tier 3? He certainly does. Kyo's one of them, up by 4/10. So Haas currently 1 and 3. But what I was about to say, Natoban goes 29.9. So that's a brilliant job. As if you showed me the right card, there we go. So brilliant lap from him. He's up by a further 3/10. And probably hasn't. He's had one third place, but sort of hasn't shown the pace that we've expected. He's been definitely quick, but just he's been in incidents in races. So if he can start right up the front, he could definitely challenge for this race win. We know he's got the pace. He's got to find some consistency. That was a brilliant effort from the Alpine. Oh, and we've got Blue Dog. Oh, he's in the grass. So that's where we're going to see most of our incidents tonight. Is Sector 1. You want to try and be aggressive with those curbs. They like to spit you around. And surprisingly, we're nearly halfway through our session. Haven't seen a DNF, which is good to see. I figured we'd see someone lose it on one of the curbs, spin it into the wall. But the drivers probably have gotten all their spins out of practice, hopefully. As we see Wolfer go through turn 6 and now around turn 7. Nice line through there. Full power out around the short kink of 10 and then turn 11 at the hairpin. And this is definitely a passing opportunity. If you can get a move down the inside, we can see 2x2 through here trying to sort out positions. So you can definitely go 2x2 some aspects of this track. While in the S section, very hard to. So it's a risk versus reward around here. And you sort of want to try and make your overtake nice and clean. You can't afford to really battle the other car. As Izzy Bro goes into P4 and Christo into the top 2. Woofer improves by 10th into a 31.7. So moves himself up a place. Powers, the Tier 4 driver, reserving in Tier 3 as a reserve for Red Bull. Oh, a bit of lag on my part. He does come in, he does. Hopefully that's on my end, not his. As we just try and have another look. Someone did improve. Who was that? Not sure who moved. Oh, Sam. It was Sam. Moved up into the 30.4. P5. As we look at Wayne, he's about to set up for his next flyer. As he comes around turn 1. Very interesting turn 1, turn 2 around Suzuka. Different lines you can take where you carry it a little bit narrow or you go a little bit of a wider to try and get a better exit. As we've seen in the past, too wide through there. As Mercy's joined the session. We'll go follow on through with Wayne. Up to the hairpin. Wayne's car looking very steady, so it'll be interesting to see how his downforce levels are. Maybe he's got his wings slightly higher, but that looks like a steady Williams car. And as we know, doing the tier prior, tier 4, gives you some really, really good practice. So looking for him to be very competitive. And he would have known what strategies worked last night. So he'll be looking competitive as he comes through turn 16 to 17. Got a nice exit to the drive down to the checkered line, and he doesn't improve. Nearly matched his time, but unfortunately he was slightly down. So Wayne, he's got 3 minutes left. As I say that, Mercy has joined myself in the comms box. How are you, Mercy?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Really good. Obviously joining us with about 3 minutes to go, so all these drivers were about to get in for their final runs. So definitely going to be an interesting race. I know that the race briefing did say possible chance of rain towards the end of the race, so it'll be interesting to see if we do get that at the end. But 16 drivers and a few of these guys with some top guys missing would like to stand on that top step of the podium at the end of this afternoon.
Yeah, obviously the Tier 3 lead, I think Bopton is not here tonight, so that might give Verk and Kaio a bit of a chance to catch back up, and Gordo, who's obviously P3 as well, is also not here, so these guys in the top 5 might have a chance to push some points on these other guys that aren't here.
You're exactly right. And well, we say that with the Teams Championship for Tier 3, Aston Martin currently had about a 34-point lead over Ferrari. Obviously, that sort of equalises itself out with only one Aston and one Ferrari. McLaren, there's only one of them. AlphaTauri have actually got two, so AlphaTauri could score some good points on the top three at the moment.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of people out, so not enough reserves, but so the teams that do have two can capitalise on that. So we just did see Verk jump up the top, which I like to see as a McLaren TP, but we'll see what these other guys can do now. Obviously they'll get another run, so quite a few on an outlap now. See if they can improve.
Yeah, and obviously talking about your man, Burke, obviously 10 points behind, currently P2 in this championship. Good chance to retake the lead. Obviously, a fierce battle between him and Bompton so far this season. Sort of in his mind, how's he sort of feeling coming into the last part of the season?
Yeah, I haven't really spoken too much with him, but I don't know how he likes his track. I just got home from work and jumped on. And then I was in with Sam, and he said, "You want to commentate?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." But I think he's confident. I think he's raced with Bopton for in a couple of leagues, so they've been going at it together. But I think he feels he can get it over him, and then this race here will hopefully help with Bopton missing.
Exactly right. Burke obviously on pole position at the moment, but he's done and dusted. Got his flying lap out of the way early. As Christo's currently a
Christo's a
10th up.
10th up.
Yeah, so he's looking fairly quick, but he's got to find half a second. So hopefully he's got some more time. And around Suzuka, you find that a lot of your time can be in that first sector, around the S's. I know myself, just it can be very hard to get your line, and then just a bit too much curb spins you around. It's very hard to take sector one. How do you find driving it?
Yeah, well, like you said, if you touch those curbs, you can be your whole lap or your whole race can be gone. But you've got to push the limits there to make up that time. So get as close as you can without actually hitting them. So if they get it right, they'll definitely be up there on the quali grid. But um, yeah, so it looks like Kai's gone purple sector 2 on the track maps, but Tobian doesn't jump. Kai's about 3 tenths up, it says on his delta, so we'll see where he puts himself as he goes
Oh,
pole.
he just
Oof.
beats it. That's a nice time from Kaio.
As Sam's also about 3 tenths up coming around the last corner. Jumps up to P4 with a 29.9. Very nice lap there.
Only 2 tenths covering the top four at the moment. I think we've got a Red Bull just about to cross the line. Or just coming through the last sector, I should say.
No, I
Powers.
think everyone's finished. I've got a
Oh, yeah,
flag
sorry.
on my screen.
So we're looking at the track map, and not the checkered flags on the side. But
Well,
that's it.
that's
And
quality done.
yeah, Kai, pole position 29.7, just ahead of Verk. So we still have a championship fight with even with a couple of the guys missing. Kai and Verk, second and fourth in the table. Should be a good fight between those two. Verk probably hasn't had the form as of late, sort of been involved in incidents a little bit here and there. So currently,
Yeah, he's been a bit unlucky, but hopefully he's nice start, not too many crashes, and they get away well, and we see a good fight up the front with these guys.
Exactly right. As we see the results on screen, Kai just pips Burke, but both of them will start on the front row. Nadabian and Sam, good job filling out the second row. Christo, Izzy Bro, Arch, Richo, Wayne Morris, Tetris rounds out the 10, and then Blue Dog, Woofer, Almighty God, Powers, Luck Troop, Ross, and Shadow will round out the 16 car grid for 27 laps at Japan. So, as we load into the race, definitely interesting in terms of strategy. Either you start on the hards and then try and last for, and then a medium stint at the end, or start on the mediums. I know the hards, in my personal opinions,
They
are
might, yeah,
fairly,
might,
hards are fairly crap at the start
yeah,
of the, especially Japan. You need some grip, especially with heavy fuel. So I don't know about you, Mercy, what strategy you prefer, as we do load in and we do see the cloud cover.
yeah. And obviously with those hards, there might be a chance of rain at the end. So if they do start on them, they might try and push those hards till the rain and just get that easy stop to go onto the inters or the wets if it does rain. But I think if it doesn't, most people will be starting. I think most people might start on the mediums anyway. A lot better around here.
Yeah, exactly right. And let's not forget safety cars as well can throw strategies into the mix, and especially around here. We have seen chaos at turn one, and then as we said early in qualifying, if someone has a spin in the S's and there's a train behind them, usually there's a bit of a car park there. So
Yeah, if one goes, they'll all go. It'll just be a
yeah, 100%.
bang, bang, bang. So let's hope for a nice, clean start.
Exactly right. As we check the tyres, and majority have
Tyres.
gone the medium tyres. Sam, Wayne, and
And
Gob.
Gob.
Only three on the hard tyres. I thought there'd be a couple more, maybe towards the back, but yeah, a lot of people saying the medium tyres. So obviously the guys, especially at the front, want the grip. Sam, he's got to be a little bit careful that he sort of doesn't get swallowed, especially the first sector. Be ice cold. He'd have to try and get as much heat into those hards as he can.
Yeah, obviously on those hards, if he might drop one or two, but if that's as low as he goes, I think it'll pay off. But if he loses five plus positions, it's just gonna be a lot harder for him to come back through. But as Izzy Bro has spun around at the back of the field there.
He usually gets his. I think Izzy Bro's usually the one that spins on a formation lap, so probably not as much of a surprise from the Red Bull. But as I said, he gets his spins out. We know he's quick in the race, but we've also known that he's sort of thrown away victories, especially at Hungary from memory, leading from the front and having a bit of a spin. Not trying to bag him, but yeah, he does like a spin now and then, especially in the front. So currently P6, but we know how aggressive he can be, and if he's running maybe a little bit less downforce and he can handle it, might make his way through the field. But do know Japan can be very tricky to pass with only the one DRS zone. We're sort of waiting a little bit more on strategy and then sort of tyre wear and how good these drivers can manage sort of the later part, because these mediums will die fairly quickly with the high fuel, probably around lap 10 before they really start feeling pretty ordinary. As we just wait for the rest of the grid to line up, as we see who can stop in the grid boxes. On board Rikai, can he stop? That looked pretty perfect from
I know
him.
Kaya likes his starts, so let's see what he can do here. If he keeps the lead into turn one,
Yeah, and
or
outside.
if Verk or Natobian can, or even Sam can pop through.
Yeah, exactly right. And an outside line around here isn't too bad. So we'll see if we can hang on to it. Should give me a nice camera angle. There we go. As we do have the lights. We've got 3, we got 4, we got 5. And we're underway at Japan, and it seemed like an alright start from Burke, but Kaio gets
Kai
away
with a great
straight
start.
away. As Sam and Christo fighting already. Can we get through turns 1 and 2? That's an Aston Martin running wide. So that's Christo losing a couple of spots. I think we've got a spin at the
Got
back.
True Boss around at the back.
Oh, that's unfortunate from him. I know he was further down the field, as we've got the Haas of Arch looking to possibly make a move on Christo, but that leaves the door
Richo
wide
goes
open.
down the inside.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sort of, he
Arch
was
there.
looking for a move, but then, yeah, Richo, door was
We've got
left
Isabro
wide
and
open.
Sam going at it up here.
Oh, you don't want to be too wide here.
Isabro
Sam
goes for the
wide.
switch there.
Nice 2x2 action.
Bit of contact there.
Yeah,
But
just about,
looks
but
like
I think, yeah, easy, I think, with the traction on the mediums.
as Christo's getting swallowed behind there.
Yeah,
You got sandwiched between, I think, Arch and maybe Richo. So lucky there was no spin there from Christo.
Oh, and that's
As
a
Arch, oh,
he had a
how he
massive
hasn't DNF
moment.
there. Oh.
Oh, and that shadow, whether he sort of
I
took
think
avoiding action.
Ghosting's on. Maybe that saved him.
Nah, Ghosting's definitely. I know Ghosting's definitely off because we checked the
He
settings.
just ghosted on mine. Maybe
Yeah,
a bit of a glitch.
Yeah, possibly, but definitely, possibly could have.
Looked like true. Someone went straight through him there on my screen.
But VSC is out, so this will give the midfield a little bit of a chance to have a bit of a breather. But Kaio, he pretty much got the start he wanted and pretty much had no one right next to him when he went into turn 1. It was Burke and the other guys sort of having to battle for positions, as we've sort of got the field spread out a little bit now as the VSC has
go back
ended.
to green.
So Burke right up the back of Kaio there, so he got the jump on the Delta. As we see, obviously, two guys coming in for a front wing change. So Arch and Powers obviously damage. Arch the big lose, and then Powers obviously had contact later at some point in the lap as well. As we got another yellow flag.
Another
and that's
yellow Mercedes.
That's As he got a front wing. No, he doesn't. So he's hit the wall and somehow still not retired. As we can see the wall in the wing in the wall in the background. So already two big losers, and we're only a lap and a half in. As the top two are sort of running away with this at the moment. They'd be in about a second and a half back.
Another yellow.
And that's
Powers is retired.
Oh, and that's McLaren as well. Burke's
Ooh.
around. Oh, your tier 2 driver. Tier 3 driver.
Spin a Burke.
Yeah, and we have seen guys lose it on that outside curb of 14, and he's obviously spun, obviously waiting for the traffic to clear.
Yeah, you don't want to get disqualified from going the wrong way there, so
he's at the back of the pack.
He's still in the race, which is good.
Yeah, and that does bring out
down the back, but
yeah, that brings out our first safety car as Powers does join me back into the comms box. You jumped into the Red Bull late, and unfortunately, you only lasted a lap and a half.
I did, yeah. Turn 1, boss had unside, and then he spun directly in front of me, which caused me to lose my wing. And then I had to pit, and then I came out of the pits with fresh set of mediums, and they just weren't warm enough. Went into fixes and ended up in a wall.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's definitely the danger, especially around here and the way the first sector is, that your tyres are not warm enough, and you don't have the bite there. You can definitely go spinning around, but Burke, unfortunately, bad to worse.
He also just picked up a 5-second there for speeding in the pit lane, but
exactly right.
if he jumps back in the pits before the safety car goes back in, he'll be able to get that off. But
yeah, be interesting to see which tyre he goes to, whether he just jumps onto a set of hards now.
He's gone medium to medium, I believe. So.
Exactly, so he'd have to jump onto an old set of mediums or a new set of hards. So he obviously wanted more grip with the high fuel load in the early part of the race. So I'm not sure if he does serve this penalty now. You'd think he would. Safety car.
Yeah, it'll be the smart decision because safety car hasn't done a lap yet, so it won't come in. So you should be able to just get a cheap stop, jump on the hards, and hopefully push back up the field.
Yeah, exactly right. Wolfer, obviously, he gets this safety car, gives him a chance to recatch the pack after his spin at around turn 5, I believe, somewhere in the S section, so he's lost it. Not sure if it was a bit of a touch or just a bit of a loss, but yeah, he's definitely able to catch back up. So we've sort of seen incident field race already, and we're only just about to hit lap 4.
Oh, someone's just lost a wing. I saw a wing just go flying. Who was that?
So he's about to come into the pit lane. Haven't seen a 5-second penalty hop up.
Tetris.
Oh, Tetris. He won't be happy with that running in the top 10. He manages to slow it down to, I think it's 60 kilometres? No, 80 kilometres for this pit lane. What will he chuck on? He's chuck on another set of mediums as well.
So, Ferk stayed out, so he's obviously got to stop again, so he will serve that 5-second if under race conditions, or if there's another safety car, he might jump back in, but yeah, Tetris must have had a bit of a collision there and took some of his wing off, but he lost a couple spots, but at least it was under safety car, so he can jump back up behind this pack and work his way back through.
Exactly right. Interesting they didn't go the hard tyres though.
Yeah,
what if you
don't know if they're 23 laps.
Maybe not, but
close.
at least you're chucking on a set of mediums towards the end of the race rather than the hards that he is still going to have to go to. So, what if he could chuck on the hards now? He's at the back. He'll go long, and then a late safety car would have brought him back into it. But as I said, we do maybe a chance of rain. Maybe the mediums he thinks could go to it if it does happen. Because we've got a lot of... Oh, who's at a loss now?
Sam!
He's in the wall. Has he done that on his own, or has he had contact? And has he got his front wing? He's got both end plates, so unless it's a little bit, but it'd be interesting to see how he's spun it there. He's on the hard tyres, so trying to maybe...
Oh, he's around again.
Obviously just... obviously a little bit overheated, but then again, the hards were probably ice cold. Safety car, oh, it's in this lap.
Now he has to catch back up.
Probably lucky he didn't pick up actually a 10-second time penalty
jump
there.
up with Kaio. See how he does this restart. Hopefully it's a nice clean one and no more front wings or spins. So, and it looks like he's off.
Yeah, so
does get a good start as Arch has a 5-second penalty
with Shadow. So I think Arch has run into the back of Shadow. Looking at that. But we're back underway. Kai got the great restart. It's actually Izzy Bro. And looking to be on the attack of Natabian. Oh, and he's got a lot more pace, does Izzy Bro. Oh, thinking about it. Doesn't want to... Got to be careful about sticking the nose up there.
Not too many moves happen in this section, but if you can make one, you've got to make it clean, and I don't think you can do that without causing contact. So
exactly right.
You might try and go for that on the back straight and try and pass him because it looks like he does have more pace.
Yeah, obviously he was a lot more confident with the way his tyres felt on that restart, whereas Natabian was a little bit more cautious. But
this Arch goes for a move on Shadow down into the hairpin, we'll call it. Shadow's around. Watch out! Oh, that's a big collision.
Oh, and that's
Wolfer. Oh, and Sam. Oh.
So both Mercs gone, Shadow gone. So Sam and Wolfer won't be too happy with that, but camera angle.
I think Shadow lost it and collected Wolfer, and then I think Sam avoided it and just spun. So
exactly right.
Very unfortunate for those guys, but.
Yeah. Second safety car, and we're only lap 5 and we lost 4 already. And yeah, just as it switched the camera angle on me, we only saw the Haas come around instead of the Alfa Romeo and Shadow. Obviously just lost it.
Christo's called it, so he's gone in. Richo's in. Bit of a mixed bag here with people going in, staying out, but
yeah, I
I would have thought Arch would have jumped in to get rid of that 5, like Verk has done there. So
yeah, onto the hard
maybe
set.
these guys jump on the hards, try and go to the end, or if there's rain, try and get to the rain. But
Yeah.
maybe it was the right call to stay out. We'll obviously have to wait and see what happens with the weather and more if there's another safety car. But
Exactly right. And this sort of brings back up to my point that Tetris, currently in P12 and last of the runners, if he'd chucked on those hards on that last safety car, he might have been further up this pack. But he's now actually the last man running, and we only actually have, what do we have? Half a lap of running for this latest safety car.
That.
So, as I said, it's still 21 laps on a hard tyre. So, still definitely, it's a bit of a stretch, but they should make it by now. They just won't have any grip, whereas the likes of Kaya and the like will go long.
About 20, maybe 20 racing laps on the hard. So I'm not sure about tyre wear, but if they can get it home, these 4 that jumped on the hards here will be in a good position.
Yeah, exactly right. As we're coming through the part of the track now that Shadow lost it, seems to me that Shadow obviously trying to hold his line with Arch. Maybe had a bit of ERS on, and I know with ERS through there, heavy fuel on the inside, quite easy to actually lose the rear into the wall. And unfortunately, we weren't sure if ghosting was on or off, but ghosting was definitely off with Sam and Wolfer having
confirms
nowhere to
it.
go. No, just unlucky. Wolfer and Sam, Wolfer got caught up in his own incidents early on, so he was making a comeback. He's racing last too much longer, and then Sam as well. There's unfortunately nowhere to go. As while we wait for Tetris to catch the pack. So
we do see Wayne Morris up in P5, who's on those hards. So maybe all these safety cars, these tyres might be a bit better than the medium runners. So
exactly right.
You might be able to make a couple spots up on this restart with those tyres, but Gob there as well on those hards.
Yep. Currently looking at positions change, like a true boss, currently up in P6, up 9, considering that I think he had a spin turn 1, didn't he? Lap 1? I think he was the one facing backwards, so he's done a good job at recovery. Obviously, we've seen a fair few in the pits already, but he's done a nice job in P6, and then the other big mover, Blue Dog, from 11th up into P4, he's avoided the carnage as well. Kai, obviously, pretty much he stayed right out the front, and then biggest losers, Verk down 9 with that spin on his own. And then obviously Sam, he's down 9. Unfortunately, he's out and won't take any further part. As we have a look at the stops, top 7 have yet to stop. Arch is the first one to take a pit stop, and he's the only one that has a 5-second penalty, which was for the contact with Shadow as well.
Yeah.
So he's on the medium, so they definitely won't get to the end, so he will have to stop again. So that will be served in race.
Yeah, I think he probably should have jumped in the pits there to get rid of that penalty and get on the hards, but might be a good call. But yeah, I would have gone in and got rid of that penalty, but
right.
Each to their own, I guess.
Yeah,
the safety car should be coming in this lap, I believe.
Yeah, it should. Everyone's caught the field. So that's pretty sure a second lap, so Kai should see the safety car in this lap. Signal just about 5 seconds as we cross
this sector right about now.
And it is. So Kai takes control for the 3rd time. So we'll see. Hasty start beautifully, and we know Izzy Bro was definitely better on the restart. So Nanoban, see if he can get a better restart than he did last time.
So safety car is just in the pits, so now it's all on Kai to decide when to restart this race. He went about here last time, and looks like he does it again. Oh, Asnatobian has just spun on the restart, which is very lucky for Izzy Bro that he didn't.
Oh, and he's in the pit lane
didn't
too.
run into him.
Yeah, exactly. So he's at a moment, and unfortunately that sent him into pit lane. So he's making a pit stop. Probably, definitely not when he wanted to. So that's going to send him right down the pack. As Izzy Bro on board. Izzy Bro, just the speed that he's taken over those curbs, definitely being ultra aggressive. Well, you think about him move down the inside, not quite.
Zibro looks to have the more downforce over Kaio here, so if he does make this move, he... Oh,
Does he give him
that
room?
was close. Yeah, if he does make that move, I think Kaio might try and get him back on the straight. Because from the looks of it, Kaio has a bit less downforce, so he might be a lot quicker in the straights.
Definitely right, as Arch goes past Gob into P6 just before the hairpin. So he's made up a position on the restart. And then Blue Dog already up into P3 with Native Yen's incident. And he's just watching these two out front battle hard.
As we see Blue Dog just following these guys, he's actually gaining on Izzy, bro. Will he? No, he just stays behind for now. So he'll try and stay with these two, with Izzy and Kaio. They're looking very quick at the moment. Wayne dropped up into P4, so very nice work there from Wayne.
Izzy Bro sets the fastest lap on that restart, but Blue Dog on that Ferrari, on board with that Ferrari, looks like it's got a bit of a top end speed, so might look for some moves at that last chicane. When we go...
See how much Izzy Bro gains in here. He's about 4.5 tenths back, and he's already right on the gearbox of Kaio here, so this just shows the difference of setups and what they can do. So will he try and... He should stay behind for now. So Izzy Bro obviously very rapid in that first sector. Oh, as Blue Dog jumps on the curb and spins around. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, he manages
he just got on that curb, and once you get on that, there's no stopping.
Exactly
so
right. We pointed that out in qualifying, that's definitely an area of concern if you run just a little bit wide. That curb can easily spit you to the other side, and unfortunately Blue Dog, he was running in P3, so we've already lost
Wayne up into P3.
Yeah, and on the hard tyres.
Wayne obviously, he won, well, he provisionally won Tier 4 last night with an excellent drive. I reckon he was the quickest out there, so... Oh, Blue Dog's around again.
Yeah, that'd just be warm tyres, unfortunately. Yeah. Maybe just driving in a little bit of anger. But yeah, we've seen Blue Dog. Yeah. Blue Dog, Native Yan, and Verkle spin from the top three. Kai sets fastest lap that Wayne also does, and Arch.
And then Arch jumps it.
So I think these two battling at the front. Kai's having to take defensive lines to keep Izzy Bro from attacking him, especially in this first sector. You can just
I think Izzy Bro is a lot closer now, so I think he might try and find his way through here. If he lines it up and gets a good exit, he might be able to, but looks like he's just a bit behind there, so...
Oh, that's a little bit wide. Got to be careful being out there, Izzy Bro. Still sits in behind, about half a second. Wayne comfortably sitting in P3 with Like a True Boss sitting behind him. As we are at lap 10. Kai currently leading it from Izzy Bro, Wayne third, Like a True Boss fourth, Arch fifth, Gob sitting in P6, and then Christo, Richo, Verk, he was up front early.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just lagging, but it just looked like Verk ran up the back of Richo.
Yeah, I think I caught that too, so... But
Verk, maybe one of these guys are lagging, but...
possibly, but Verk...
Is Verk... Yeah.
So
I think is Richo lagging or
it's
Verk?
One or the other, so we're not sure yet.
So, and that obviously makes it a lot harder to go for a move because you might not know where the car is. So,
right. And like
let's just hope it.
Yeah, Verk seemed to back out of that one, so it seems like that might be Richo that might be lagging a little bit. Hopefully that fixes itself up sooner rather than later. But like a True Boss, now only 4 tenths behind Wayne.
True Boss looks to have burnt quite a lot of his battery, but he's sticking with Wayne for now. And Arch is all over the back of True Boss, almost making contact, but manages to avoid it.
Yeah, so Arch might be running a little bit more downforce as well to help him through Sector 1. Because, yeah, right close, but then sort of lost a little bit of a gap now. That's Izzy Bro. About just 2-3 tenths, so it was about 9 tenths when they crossed the line from Kai, but Izzy Bro can easily make up a lot of that time in the first sector, but unfortunately he just loses it down here.
He runs, he does run a little wide there, but I think there's a bit of a glitch in the game where you can take a bit of that curb and you don't pick up track limit. I don't know if they've fixed that, but and Kai just looks to be saving his battery to be able to defend when Izzy Bro is going for that move. And Izzy Bro's he's used quite a lot, but he's still behind Kai as True Boss jumps into the pits for his stop. Does anyone follow?
Yes.
Verk is going to pass Richo here, which does it before any of the corners, so he's through now. So you've got Christo in front, who's going to look to try and pass Almighty Gob up here, who is on those 11 lap hards. So at the moment it's currently, we'll say Christo's a net P1, because he's the only one that has stopped in the top 6, sorry.
Right.
So all these guys in front have to stop.
Yeah, sorry, as I say, Izzy Bro was seriously thinking about a move, couldn't quite get it done. He knows he can't get him on the straights, he's got to get him into Sector 1, where he's got more grip. He's just got to, maybe Kai makes a little bit of a mistake, but he's got to sort of get a move at a corner you wouldn't normally expect with the downforce level difference that we think that they'd both have with Kai. Kai's, I've noticed down this straight, before the last chicane, pulls 2 tenths on Izzy Bro without burning battery, so that's sort of the downforce levels difference we're talking about.
Yeah, and Izzy Bro is just very low on battery, but Kai's definitely quicker in the straights, but I think making it up in that Sector 1 helps him to stay with Kai. As they both stay out. Maybe Izzy Bro might try and undercut on Kai. He can jump in the pits and get a couple of tenths. He might be able to pass Kai with the uncut. But
yeah, exactly. As Christo goes for a move, possibly down at turn 1.
Gob runs very wide.
Yeah, which
and
actually,
Christo and Verk both go through there. So
yes,
that was very.
Yeah, so I thought Christo might have actually backed out of it, but I think it was more so that Gob just went in super hot, and unfortunately he's lost both positions to Christo and Verk, so Verk moves up another place. He's currently in P6, and remember, Christo and Verk, as you said before, they've made their pit stop, so it's going to be the top 4 that have to come in and do the overtaking. All Christo has a moment coming under the bridge, so does that allow Verk a move at the hairpin? It doesn't, but that sends the McLaren right up the back.
You got a good exit there with that medium traction he uses. Anytime we do any practice lobbies, he always gets me on the exits. I still haven't mastered that medium traction, but
as Christo has another slide around 13 and 14, so Christo maybe just struggling for grip at the moment with the hards.
Will we see Kai or Izzy Bro jump in the pits? I think if Kai jumps in, Izzy Bro might stay one more.
Oh, and that's Gob's around.
Izzy Bro's. Perfect timing for Izzy Bro there. Because Kai had just passed the pits.
Does Kai beat the safety car out? He does.
Oh,
that was lucky.
So now, he's still got a Delta.
Oh, Arch!
What?
Oh,
Arch just hit the safety car.
He's hit the safety car. Safety car must have been sitting on the apron of turn 2, and he's hit it.
Oh, watch out, Christo! Don't get too close to that.
Alright, Izzy Bro comes out of the pits. He's P7. So he would have loved if Kai caught the safety car, but Kai, thankfully, he's.
Oh, Richo almost hits the safety car.
I'll stay on board with for Izzy Bro. He would have seen Archer's car there, perhaps. Still there, yes, so he's just taking it easy.
He's going very slow, which is
if he's got
very
the track,
smart.
Yeah, if he's got the track map on, he knows where the safety car is. But he's also following a Delta, of course, but
Slow down. Oh,
safety car on the inside.
it's waiting now.
We're just going to stay on board with every single car
So
until they pass
yeah,
it.
it was very good time for Izzy-Bro, because just as Gob DNF'd, Izzy-Bro jumped in and Kaya continued on. So I think, oh no, yeah, Kaya should still come out first, I believe, because he did get in front of the safety car.
Yes, he should.
Oh well, he won't come out first. Sorry, he'll come out in front of Izzy-Bro.
Yeah, come out. Yeah.
Christo and Verk and Richo will all be staying out, I'd assume. So they'll be the top three, and then Christo might tuck in behind there. And I think Wayne should also be jumping into the pits to
Kai definitely
jump on those mediums. So
so
they're both in now.
Wayne will be looking pacey off this restart. Just see how those mediums sort of hang in there, because Kai's, even though he's done 14 laps, I'm pretty sure half of them were under safety car.
And obviously Izzy-Bro still has to follow.
Wayne's on the soft tyre.
Wayne on the soft. Maybe he thinks the mediums won't make it. I know Wayne's very good with his details of like tyre wear and how long they'll make it. So he must have done his research, and he's figured out that mediums might not make it. So might be a good call, because he'll obviously be behind all these drivers on the hard. So he'll probably make up a couple spots and can push up, but you'll obviously have to stop again.
Possibly, but yeah, that's definitely a probably not the choice I made, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. He might be thinking another safety car and everyone's coming into the box, but he'll definitely be the one making moves. But yeah, definitely would have thought the mediums definitely would have been the way to go. Blue Dogs obviously jumped onto the mediums. Everyone else sort of on the hards, just with the way that they were based. But you can sort of see Christo up the top. So top 3 9-lap-old hards, and then Kai is the first one that has boxed. So he's currently in P4 on the brand new hard tyres. So he'll have grip, especially towards the end. But we'll see if Christo can hold out. Christo scoring his first podium in Australia 2 weeks ago. So if you'd like to get his first win this season, be good to see. And then Verk as well, after his early issue. Finding himself in P2, so nice recovery from him. We'll see if he can keep it there.
Yeah, and these safety cars obviously helping out Christo, Verk and Richo, because I think out of their 9 laps of their hard tyres, there's probably been about maybe 5 of them actually racing laps, so...
Exactly, and unfortunately...
The tyre wear shouldn't be too bad at the moment.
Yeah, exactly, and unfortunately for Wayne, that definitely wasn't the strategy he wanted, because he definitely didn't want softs, he wanted mediums, so... Unlucky Wayne.
Is he in the chat, is he?
Yeah, in the Twitch chat, unfortunately. People
might need to bring that up.
People thinking about telling him to box, but he's staying out for now. I said this might not be a bad move regardless. He's going to be on completely new softs, so you'd think if he can get the moves cleanly done, be able to take quite a few of these guys. So not completely over for him. And if we do see a safety car with a few laps to go, 5 laps to go, I'd imagine all these hard runners will definitely be coming in for soft tyres.
Yeah, so if Wayne makes up maybe 2 to 3 spots, and I think he might try and get 6 laps out of his 5-6 laps, and the safety car does come out, he'll be able to get another cheap pit stop in, and I think maybe, like you said, those top 3 might also jump in. So it might work out for him. We'll just obviously have to wait and see how it goes.
Exactly right. Current position leader is Luxury Boss still up 8. Christo up 4, Richo up 5. Bigger losers that are the runners that are still going is Nataban down 5. Obviously that moment of the last restart, obviously having the moment, and unfortunately that sort of sent him into pit lane without him being able to come back on track. So he had to take pit stops, currently in P8. No penalties. All the penalties have been served in pit lane. All the guys have DNF'd. So we are a clean sheet at the moment, as we should see the safety car in this lap as Blue Dog is on the back of the train.
Yeah, so we'll see what Christo does with his starts and if he can hold P1. I think he should be able to going into turn 1. Obviously, Verk would be pushing to try and pass. And Kai, on those fresh hards, will be trying to make up those spots again. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'll jump on with Christo as he's gone already. As Verk follows, looks like everyone's through this time. As Tetris went a bit early, so he's had to give the spots back and lost out again.
It's a blue dog, yeah, so that sort of hasn't worked for him. We're clean through turn 1 and 2. Blue dog getting the jump on AWN, so he moves himself up 2 positions on the restart. Christo finding himself in the lead and holding it for the time being as Izzy-Bro
once again. He loves that sector 1. He's very, very rapid in there. So, as Wayne's also on the back of Izzy-Bro. So,
yeah, and Wayne will have
those soft tyres might help him out here.
Yeah, so, look for Wayne to be aggressive, knowing that he will have to box again. We're all single file through the hairpin. As Wayne, bit of a wiggle, trying to get on the power early to maybe have a go at Izzy-Bro. Not quite. But Wayne will have a grip advantage, and if he's got a bit of top speed, might be able to get past
Wayne does get a better exit there, but Izzy-Bro is just putting that battery on, and Kai's gone up for a move on Richo. Pulls up next to him, so they're going too wide as Richo runs a bit wide. They're still side by side here. Richo stays side by side, so they've both. Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah, gets the job done.
Left each other some room. But now Izzy-Bro is going to try and make the move on Richo, but Richo's getting the toe of Kai. It's actually helping him defend. So
and you can just see that last part of the straight, just the wombs completely pull away.
Oh, Izzy-Bro goes next to Richo. Richo does a little moment coming out of turn 1, so Izzy-Bro jumps on that and passes him, so he'll obviously be trying to catch back up to Kai now, and he'll do that in this sector, because that downforce is helping him out there. Now Wayne and I think Richo should just let Wayne through here, yeah. Very nice team play there, so now Wayne's going to try and catch back up to these guys in front of him.
As Verk.
Push on as Verk goes past Christo.
Yeah, I think Christo had a move out of the right-hander under the bridge, and that allows Verk into the lead, but has closed Kaya and Izzy has closed up to the top 2. They were gapping a little bit after that first lap, so Verk takes the lead.
Trubos right behind Richo, just tucks in behind.
Yeah, Richo
might
really
try and line up a move now, but. Yeah, Trubos with that, I think, spin on lap 1 has come back very strong, and he might be able to make up a couple more spots here on those 6-lap-old hards.
As Wayne closing right up to Izzy-Bro. Don't look for a move yet, but Izzy-Bro runs deep.
Ooh. As we have a yellow with Natobian.
He's had a
Natobian.
had a spin, so maybe a little bit of contact, maybe. Sort of weird the way that it happened mid-corner, but he gets going again. But unfortunately at the back.
So we'll be able to see if Christo's got a bit more downforce as well. If he pulls away from Kaio in this first sector, it's about 5.5 tenths. It looks like Kaio's gone with the more straight line speed, and I think that might be the better call, as it's very difficult to overtake in the first sector, but you do lose quite a lot of time in there, so. But then he obviously makes it back up in that last sector on that big straight, which is where most of your moves are made, on the back straight or the first DRS zone.
As Wayne, those softs will probably already be starting to wear. We know the softs aren't exactly great on a lot of these tracks with the load around here. We'll see how they go, but we might see him in sooner rather than later. But Christo,
I think,
unfortunately.
Yeah, Christo's just jumped out of DRS, but as I say that, he burns a bit of his battery to jump back into it.
little bit
Bit of
more
a
than Verk.
DRS trainee.
So
As Wayne runs very deep there. Oh, almost spins on that curb.
Yeah, and unfortunately that mistake cost him about nearly a second to Izzy-Bro because he was right behind, but unfortunately Wayne's going to have to burn a bit of those tyres to sort of get back in there as Nato
True Boss goes for the move on Richo. Oh, bit of contact.
Both of them run
Oh,
wide
True Boss is around. Oh, no.
And Tetris...
No DNFs.
Yeah, Tetris takes advantage of it because Blue Dog had to get out of the way and go wide to avoid it.
So it doesn't look like there's wing damage on any of the cars, but I did see some carbon fire fly off. But
exactly right.
They've all got
big train behind Richo, so this could get a little bit ugly as Tetris. Higo think about a move down at the hairpin. Didn't think about it. Blue Dog taking a water line to try and get a bit of out of here.
Kai is on the back of Christo here, so we might see if Kai tries to make the move on Christo. They're both burning, so I don't know if Kai is going to be able to catch here. But Christo is out of the DRS of Verk, so Kai's going to have the DRS advantage over Christo here, so he might try and make this move into turn 1.
As Tetris goes for the move around the outside of Richo, he does go deep,
Yeah,
and Snowdoban's had a spin at the back.
As Kai passes Christo up into P2.
Yeah, as there's action happening everywhere. Richo wins, so Richo must have had wing damage. So Kai gets past Christo, so now he'll hunt down the McLaren of Verk. Nadabian up into P9 with Richo pitting for a set of mediums.
I'm not sure how much longer Wayne can do. Wayne can get these softs, so he might be jumping in to maybe jump on another set of softs. Depends what he used in quali, but I don't know how much longer he can get out of them. As Christo's fallen a bit behind Kaio, so Izzy-Bro might try to pass Christo as well here.
Yeah, so Christos is probably the one in the top 5 that's probably struggling a little bit compared to the others. Obviously, his tyres are on 15 laps compared to Kai's 6 and Izzy-Bro's 7, so 9 and laps younger. So Christo will definitely be struggling, and you can sort of see Kai already caught half a second of Verk, so that's just the freshness of those hards. So with the top end speed we've seen Kai seen so far in this race, I don't think it's going to be too much longer before Kai, I reckon, gets past that McLaren.
Yeah, Kai is very, very quick in the straights and has much fresher tyres. As Wayne jumps in the pits, he might chuck on the mediums or another set of softs. But yeah, the 16 lap old hards, I don't know if they need to save their tyres or if they're going to make it, but Izzy-Bro and Kai are going to be much quicker than Verk and Christo at the moment.
Right, you can even see, like, Izzy's always been quick through Sector 1, but I think with that acid now starting to slide around as Izzy-Bro goes around the outside, a little bit of contact. Does Izzy-Bro get the move down the inside? Ooh. He does. That was nice. Christo running a little bit wide, but I think just trying to give him a bit of room. So Izzy-Bro needed to get that move done if he wants any chance of this win with 5.5 laps to go. As Kai now half a second behind, sort of got into that dirty air but hasn't been able to get back in it, and he's been a lot of ERS to get within that 4/10. And he goes slightly
as he
wide.
Runs wide there, but like I was saying before, might not have given him a track limit, as there is a bit of a glitch there.
Oh, and who's that having a spin? That's Snatterbean having a spin out of the hairpin. Wayne moves himself up into P8. So even if the strategy call wasn't great, is Kai right behind?
Kai's right behind Verk now. This is another yellow. That's True Boss.
Yeah, True Boss, unfortunately.
True Boss around again.
So Wayne will move up into P7. So regardless of his unfortunate strategy call, great effort from Wayne. He kept it on the track and good points in P7 if he can finish.
Yeah, and he might even be able to grab the fastest lap on these softs for that extra point, but at the moment everyone's going to be getting a point as there's only 10 drivers left.
As I'm on board with Kyron now, you can just sort of see Verk, even with the older tyres, definitely having more grip through the first sector, so he's obviously running more downforce as well. Kai's good in the second half of the lap, which is where the overtake will be easier to happen for him, but I think he's losing a little bit. He's still losing too much time in this first sector to actually be close enough to make a move, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then obviously, because Kai does lose out in that first sector, he has to burn a bit of his battery to come back closer to Verk, as we've got
NATO being, I think,
another spin.
Yeah, NATO's just really struggling.
No DNF, which is lucky, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, Kai obviously has to burn that battery to get back up to Verk, and Verk is just building his up, so... Verk just has to burn a bit on the straights, which he's doing now, and I think Kai needs to turn the jet engines on and pull all that time back in on that big straight.
Yeah, exactly. He's also second there, so he sort of lost 8/10 over the course of the entire lap, so maybe Kai's
He's out of the DRS now.
And he lost another 4/10 out of the final corner, so we saw him have a big moment, so surprisingly that his tyres are starting to wear, considering that they're Verk's at double his age.
So Wayne has gone purple sector 2, so we'll see if he does grab that fastest lap. Just jump on board with him. He looks like he's going for it as he's tucked to the inside, and he does with a 32.2, so an extra point there for the Williams, and he's doing a great job reserving up a tier in P7. An extra point, Richo just behind him, so nice drive for these Williams drivers tonight, or the Savo, as Blue Dog has spun again. So Wayne might even jump another spot if he can.
I think he will, because
he just needs to be a bit careful, because he'll be coming right up behind Blue Dog here.
Yeah, Blue Dog might push around turn 7, does he?
I think Blue Dog might just let him go.
He does.
Yeah. Very nice driving there by Blue Dog.
Exactly, so Wayne up in a P6, and...
Izzy Bro is actually caught up to Kyo. He's only 7.5 tenths behind, so Kyo's pace seems to have dropped off in the last lap, and Izzy Bro might even make a move.
Yeah, maybe he's just sliding his tyres around more, but yeah, he's just definitely does not have the grip that he had a lap ago. And we will have 3 laps left when Verk crosses the line. You can see the top 3 in picture now. Christo at the back.
Yeah, and it would be... Oh, another Blue Dog again.
Yeah, Blue Dog, of course.
So although they keep spinning, they're not DNFing, which is good, because everyone's getting a point at the moment.
Exactly right, and I think a few of these boys are coming in for soft tyres, so I think they'll be trying to
get that extra, and grab that lap point off Wayne.
Exactly right, but Wayne probably won't.
As Izzy Bro is just gonna get right up behind Kyo here. There. Oh, Blue Dog's around again.
And we've seen this picture.
I think Blue Dog should just jump in, grab some softs. As Izzy Bro right behind Kyo.
He thought about
so much faster in sector 1 there.
Yeah, he thought about the move on Christo at the end, but Kai's got just that little bit more top speed to be able to defend.
And these two fighting is just going to help Verk, because he'll be able to just keep pushing as Kai has to worry about defending off Izzy Bro. But obviously there's 19 lap hards. I'm not sure about the tyre wear, but it's looking alright at the moment. And Christo sitting in P4, so on those 19 lap hards.
Yeah, looking at the tyre temps as I take everything off screen. Hovering around 95 for the fronts for Izzy Bro. And 92 overall for Kyo, and 92 and 90 on the rear for Verk. So Izzy Bro's working his tyres a little bit harder, but got a nice exit through the exit of the chicane at 17 and around 18. Bit of DRS, but
I think even with the DRS, I don't think he'll be able to make the move on Kyo. They're both on 2% battery, so not much going around. I think Izzy Bro might try and pass here because he's right on the back of Kyo. Ooh.
You've got to be careful.
You don't want to take too much of those curbs.
trying for a wider line here to get a nice exit out of 7. He knows.
I think he might be able to. He might be able to line up a move. Yep. Or I think this corner here, if he gets the inside there, he might be able to just duck down the inside or
he was
get
nice and quick through there, so he
Ooh.
might have a bit of an inside lunge at the hairpin. He doesn't.
Kyo defends the inside well there. Isabro looks to get the better exit there, but then Kyo just keeps flying away. So I think Isabro might just have to save up as much battery as he can and let Kyo fly away on this straight and bring it back in Sector 1 and try and make a move on one of those two corners there.
Yeah, as Nadavan goes 1.3 seconds quicker on his fastest lap, so he's currently got the fastest lap point at the moment, currently in P9, so he'll pick up some good points as well. Even though we've sort of seen him spin about half a dozen times so far, but he's still running. As we get the aerial shot from Kai, about 7/10. Easy bro, not near close enough to what he was last lap as we do start the last
lap.
And I think Verk got this in the bag.
Yeah, and coming into turn 1, it's about 7.5 tenths for Isabro to get up to Kyo. So let's see how close he does get through this first sector. You can already see it's down to about 4.5 tenths already. So if you can get a bit closer, he might be able to just make a little lunge and stick the nose up the inside as he gets a nice exit there. It's about 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths now.
Yeah, so it's about
Isabro, if he gets a nice exit here, he's right behind Kyo. I think. Oh, he's not burning the batteries, so.
Yeah, Kyo's doing enough.
So he might make a move as Kyo's got insane straight line speed as they almost touch there.
Yeah, Kyo's doing a good job getting the exits out of these corners that Isabro can't get him on the exits. Just that top speed's just a little bit too much. And I think unless Kyo does make a mistake, goes wide, slightly wide, but still alright. Isabro's going to burn all of his battery. It's closing a little bit, but I think this is where we'll start seeing
I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, Kyo's starting to pull away now already before we even get to the chicane. But we'll jump on board with the McLaren. Verk had a moment early on, but fought his way back through, and he wins round 11 at Japan. Verk takes first place. Kyo does hold on to P2, and then Isabro rounds out the podium, P3. And then Christo, about 10 seconds back. Didn't quite have the pace on the hard tyres. They were old, but brilliant effort to score 4th place. Tetris, saw him have issues early on. He finishes P5, so that's a brilliant effort from him. Wayne, unfortunately, the mishap in the pit lane with the wrong tyre selected, still recovers for P6, so brilliant job from the Tier 4 reserve. Richo, P7, so 6th and 7th for Williams. That's a good load of points for them. Like a true boss. Finishing in P8 as he comes around 130R now. So he's coming to the last chicane.
Well, unless something happens, he'll get P8.
Exactly right. Oh, Blue Dog's had a spin.
Blue Dogs again. So just bring it home and get a point.
Yeah, he'll get a few points actually.
I've just heard from Verk that his tyres were on 80% on that last lap. So Christo must have been the same. But he's done well. He did have that spin. He's come back. A couple of safety cars helped him out. But Kyo and Isabro, that was a great race by them. Very nice battle between those two drivers.
Exactly right. But yeah, like a true boss, picking up driver of the day. He managed to keep it relatively clean. Had a couple of spins, but as I said, top 10 finish, all scoring points. Yeah, obviously some winners, some losers there, but as we see on screen, Verk definitely had the pace today. Scores the victory, and that will move him into the championship lead for Tier 2. I think he'll be clear about 14 points over Bompton. Kyo jumps into P3. I think it's about 20 points per second, so he'll jump to 133. So Kai does close into the championship lead, but yeah, he's going to get feisty in Bompton if he's back next week. Yeah, definitely he'll want to get that championship lead back. But results on screen. Vert takes the win. Kai, Izzy Bro, Christo, Tetris, Wayne Morris, Richo, like a true boss. Natty Man P9 with the fastest lap, so he gets the bonus point. And Blue Dog rounds out the 10 finishes. And then if we look at the DNFs, now Arch, unfortunately, with the mishap with the safety car, probably sitting on the apex, unfortunately. Gob having the big crash out of 130R, hitting the wall. And then Sam Wolfer, unfortunately, having nowhere to go when Shadow had his incident in the second sector. So all three out at the same time. And then Powers having a loss, I think about 2 laps in. So he was a late jump in. Fortunately, he didn't finish either. So there are the results. No penalties, which is good to see as well. So Japan's fairly hard to get penalties, mainly because the curbs kill you if you take too much of them.
Yeah, it was very... Well, there's a lot of spins, but very clean race from everyone out there tonight.
Yeah, exactly right.
This afternoon again, but
maybe except for maybe lap 1, I don't really see. We won't see any incidents. I think it was fairly clean all around, and some good moves, especially from Izzy on Christo. I reckon after the S's, I think that was a good move, and you can see that's where the pace that he had. So while we wait for these boys to hop in to the comms box, but yeah, you're right. I think it was a clean race, definitely strategy, and it was also setup wise. Some guys made a strategy that sort of worked in their favour, and others, maybe Izzy Bro, maybe just a little bit too much downforce where he couldn't actually get a move done on Izzy Bro in the end, and was sort of stuck behind him for the majority of the race. So
as we have Izzy Bro's just jumped in. We might start with Izzy Bro, obviously P3 today. What were your thoughts, Izzy Bro? Did you think you could make that move on Kaio in Sector 1?
I wish, bro. Fuck sector one and 2. I felt like I had to back off the whole time, trying to get around the boys. But yeah, man, I was silly with my IRL, a bit dusty, a bit hungover. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you looked very pacey in that Sector 1, but I think Kaio's had the straight line speed on you, so you couldn't really make that move on those 2 straights.
I couldn't get that. I felt like if I once I got through, I would open up a decent gap, but I couldn't get through. So that is what it is.
When that safety car came out, I think when Gob DNF, we were hoping that Kaio got stuck behind it.
Yeah,
when you timed that pit stop. Oh.
Fight my delta like crazy. I was literally, the moment that happened, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good spot. I might be able to get in front of him. And then, the delta just kept popping up. And I'm like, shit. So I didn't want to get a pen, so it is what it is now. Yeah, I'll take third. Usually go all right, Japan, but I'll take third. That'll do. Especially in the state I'm in, the hungover state.
Congrats on third, Izzy Bro, as we go to Kai
P2. Didn't spin as you predicted. Right, see you, boys.
Nice job, Izzy Bro.
Yeah, nice drive, catch up. Kai, P2. Obviously, your top end speed sort of helped you especially from Izzy Bro and the like. Luckily to get in front of that safety car. Otherwise, you would have been hurt by it. But sort of, how was your race, and sort of just didn't quite have the pace at the end to catch Burke?
Yeah, so all the safety cars kind of screwed me over in the first. I should have come in when Vert came in, to be honest. I was sort of kicking myself that I didn't, and I thought about coming in, and at least I'd be, last, and I could get to the end. Look, I was just sort of waiting for Vert's tyres to hit the cliff, and they just never did. And then when I got close enough, he obviously kept all his battery because he only had one car to pass, and on that safety car restart, so he didn't have any ERS to waste, and so he just dumped it and broke the DRS. But yeah, it wasn't too much of a problem because I knew he was trying to get me to fight with Izzy, and I know how aggressive Izzy is around Japan. I've raced him here before, and I knew he was going to be super fast for the first sector, but a boat the rest of the lap due to the amount of downforce he was running. So as long as I covered off the beginning of sector 2 and sector 1 up the hill, I knew I had him covered. But yeah, it's just a shame that the safety cars just ruined my strategy and allowed Verk to get back into the race after that early spin from him. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you'd say,
it's a good result for him, but yeah, a bit lucky.
yeah. How was your, well, with your tyres because they were a lot younger? How was your pace? Because we saw you right up the back of it, but then you sort of lost 8 tenths in one lap. So did you sort of have a moment and then just find your rhythm again, or was it sort of once you made that mistake, then sort of hoping for Burke's tyres to fall off because you were right up there, but you sort of struggled to actually keep with him for a time there?
Yeah, so I mean you'll find out from Verks in a sec, but my suspicion was he had a full tank of battery, and I'd used my battery on Richo and Christo, and then catching Verk to so I had really nothing. I had about 20%, 30% left by the time I caught Verk, and um, yeah, he just my suspicion was he burnt it all in a lap to break me, and yeah, I just couldn't really recover from it. But like I said, he had an extra 10 laps on me in terms of tyre wear. I was just waiting for them to hit a cliff, but they just never did. He drove very smooth on those cooked tyres, so that's congrats to him.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, congrats on you as well. 6th podium of the season. So we'll see you next time out. As I quickly check, where are we actually racing? We have a quick
Well,
look.
today was
Austria
a good
next
one
week.
because
Austria Sprint. That's where we got next week. So definitely a lot more overtaken than over there than what we'll see this week. And obviously your bit of a lower downforce compared to some of these other guys today might suit you, Austria, maybe.
uh, look, it's one of those tracks that definitely suits a wheel. Being on controller with the tight turn in, the sudden turn in for that sort of track. It's not a favorite for controllers, even though it's such a simple track. But I usually do well at Austria, but I wouldn't say it's one that I particularly enjoy because it's not the funnest on a controller. But yeah, the other reason why I didn't fight Verk as much as I probably should have or could have is today was a bit of a catch up for both me and Verk in the championship over our other two competitors who didn't race today. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess us up and potentially throw away, a podium's worth of points for either of us. So yeah, I think I jumped third in the championship and Verk takes the lead of the
Yes.
championship. So that's um that's just maturity of where we are in the championship. So yeah, I'm happy for him, but I'm happy for us making progress in the championship.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, again, congratulations on P2, and we'll see you next week at Austria.
I'll be racing tonight, tier 2. So
Oh, cool. Well, at least you get a bit more practice, and fingers crossed the safety cars. Hopefully, there's not as many safety cars, we should say.
yeah, cheers, thanks.
And
Thanks,
I
guy.
think first place, I think I might let the McLaren TP, who'll be a very happy man with his driver, take the interview.
Alrighty. Well, Verk, what are your thoughts on your spin?
Well, I shouldn't have won this race, to be completely honest. No, just come out of that corner, just try to straighten the car up so I could get full throttle, but just sort of clipped that curb and round she went, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That was
well, you had that spin, but as Kai said, all those safety cars just helped you out. I think you were like bottom 5 or however many cars were left after that spin. So, and then you did pick up that 5-second speeding in pit lane as well. So, did
Yeah,
you
I wasn't having a
brain
good time
fart
at the
there
start of the
or?
race, let me tell you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just come in too hot and just sort of. I was trying to look for the marker to see what the speed was, but sort of crept up real quick the line, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we were on board when you were having a little fight with Richo. Was there a bit of lag there? Because it looked like Richo was flying around on our screens.
Yeah, there was a bit like there was a section there where he sort of went straight off the track and he appeared like a good 100 or so meters ahead of me. I was like, what the hell? But no, I thought it was going to be painful to sort of get around him, but didn't make life too hard, which was good.
Yeah, and obviously you jumped on those hards very early on. Was your plan to just get a bit of a gap and then tie a save, or just kind of cruise through the laps?
I wasn't really sort of banking on that safety car, to be honest. I was just cruising and yeah, it come out and I was sort of deciding whether to go on the mediums or not, but I already used 2 sets. I didn't know which set it would have gave me, so I just pushed it to the end. I'm surprised they didn't pop, to be honest, because I was about 80% on all 4, so the last few laps were that was very sketchy. Last few laps.
Yeah, well, I think Kai was definitely praying they did pop, but I was definitely praying they didn't. So
neither was I.
There was a bit of luck that went your way tonight with all the safety cars and a couple collisions in front, and well, I think that's about all from me. Anything else to add on, Scotty?
I think it was a brilliant recovery drive. We thought you sort of binned it, or sort of binned your chance at winning it, I should say, after that spin out of 14. Sort of how'd you spin? Unless I missed it and you explained it earlier. Sort of turn 14. Just the outside curve that you caught.
Yeah, I just wanted to straighten the cut, like sort of run a bit wide and straighten the car up so I could get full throttle. But yeah, just went that little bit too wide and clipped that real hard green thing and just spun. So I thought I'd DNF for sure. I was fuming.
Yeah, obviously
recovered. You were fuming. No,
yeah, recovered nicely and obviously scoring the win. And as we said earlier, championship lead now. Obviously, sort of, as you and Kai said, a bit of a catch up. So you take the lead and going into Austria Sprint next week. Sort of how you feeling with that? Obviously, more points on the table, and yeah, how's your pace around there?
I actually really like that track. Last night in another league, did a race there, 100% race there last night, and did very well. So I think I come second. I think it was like 30-second gap or something. So hopefully repeat that next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll be looking forward to that. But again, congratulations on P1 tonight, and obviously taking the championship lead. And we'll see you next week in Austria.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight in T2 again.
Oh, so you're reserving as well.
Yeah, boy.
You better win again, because I'm not.
That's all right. 1-2.
All right.
Well, with that being said, that's the end of Tier 3 action. Mercy, thank you very much for hopping in late, giving me a bit of a hand this afternoon. And obviously, you've now got to prepare for Tier 2 action that will be happening in about 2.5 hours' time. So, how are you feeling around Japan? Obviously, you're sort of making Burke sort of your main man wanting to win, but that sort of tells me that you're not quite confident around here.
I haven't done much of it, but my main focus is to not spin, and I think I might be alright. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, well, good luck tonight. And again, thanks for hopping in tonight, or this afternoon with me. And thank you, everyone else, for watching. That's been Tier 3 action, halfway through round 11 at Japan, so Tier 2 tonight in a couple of hours' time, and then Tier 1 Sunday afternoon with the Tier 1 boys. Plenty of fast action still to come tonight, tomorrow afternoon. So, Scotty, once again with Tier 3, and we'll see you next week around Austria for the sprint round. So, until then, bye for now.